All right, started. Alrighty, let's see. Share the other screen though. Yeah, there we go. Alrighty. So business communication and presentations. You guys already know that I've been hammering this quite a bit. Or wait, actually, where's Brady? He went out for a restroom or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He'll be fine. But yeah, you guys have probably already heard me enough, like hammering this in, like it's very important. A lot of teams really appreciate having really good communication with one another. Saves you time, saves your team time here and there. I'm trying to remember what all announcements that we started in the beginning yesterday. Did you have any, Jonathan?
I was not there yesterday, but
Same.
if you guys have any issues with React Native, trying to set it up, the developer environment thing, then just schedule a one-on-one with me. I'll help you go through it. Plus, by the way, when I created the sub issues in Jira, make sure to click on it. There's some description inside it to help you out.
Awesome. And then, yes, please try to make sure to do the Jira tickets and stuff there, because that helps us know that you didn't have any troubles, or actually maybe you did have some troubles here and there. It also gives us a gauge of like people's familiarity here and there, because I guess if it's not done on Jira, that kind of tells us that maybe you didn't have enough time, or maybe you had a few roadblocks along the way there.
Mhm.
But anyway, so the real meat of the conversation today, business communication and presentations. So let's get started. Yeah, so this is just a couple of discussion items today. Audience, one of the most critical things when it comes to any kinds of communication, because at the end of the day, maybe the message that you're trying to convey isn't really relevant to the people that you're trying to talk to. I don't know if you guys have ever been invited to meetings here and there, and it doesn't even apply to you. So a little bit of an example there. And then going straight into business communication, going to give you guys an example walkthrough. And then you guys will be sending me a coffee chat email. I know it might sound a little basic, but apparently like a lot of the people from yesterday really appreciated this one, because I guess speaking from my experience doing a virtual internship, it was very hard to network and meet people outside of my department there. So being able to feel a little comfortable with doing like some cold messaging here and there. Very applicable to LinkedIn as well. I'm pretty sure many of y'all have already heard plenty of people telling y'all to network, get to know people, make connections. That's what really helps you. But I guess they never really tell you how sometimes. Like it's still a bit of hazy kind of area right there. But yeah, low key, a lot of people on LinkedIn are so very willing to help out and talk to people, sharing some of their experience, how they got there. Like the recent security consultant from Verizon that we invited for the cybersecurity club. I just shot him a message over on LinkedIn. I was just like, hi, I'm Maria, I'm from UT Arlington. I noticed that you're an alumni there. And I was curious to see if you would be interested in giving many of our students a talk kind of thing. And yeah, lo and behold, they were pretty down. They were very interested, and we had them. They had a blast, and yeah, good connection there. And then yeah, presentations. Like I know many of y'all would probably prefer to just do code or just do a lot of your technical things without having to work with people, but for this kind of field, you will be expected to work with all kinds of people within your team, and depending on the structure of your company, sometimes it might be working in different types of projects, not just within one. But yeah, and then you will be able to get a chance to present the slide that you created and provided earlier this week. Any questions before we start? Cool beans. All right, so audience, again, just slightly mentioned it a little bit in the discussion items earlier. Like whenever you're trying to convey a message to somebody, maybe people within your team, they might be more interested on how exactly you want to implement a system. Rather, a manager of yours might prefer more of the people logistics, how many people, resources, and hours would be expected if we actually do go through with that system implementation, or how much money is this going to possibly cost, kind of thing. So being able to know trying to predict what they might ask and what kind of questions they might have would be pretty good when trying to convey and craft your message. Let's see. And then, yes, moving on to business communication. So, effective email. So, how many of y'all have already taken your communications class? Okay, good. We're on our way there. We're on our way. So, so one of the interesting things about that is that face-to-face, it's very hard to get people face-to-face these days, but that's actually one of the richest forms of communication. It's unfortunate that through the virtual space, you actually lose out on a lot of the unsaid kind of language through your body and through your facial expressions. So in-person kind of things provide you a lot of the more opportunities to really connect with people sometimes. Not to say that you can't do it virtually, you still can. It's just a little bit challenging here and there. The next one, in terms of richest form of communication, would be video conferencing. At least people would be able to see your facial expressions, and maybe you would be able to tell whether or not people are lying through their eyes. Smiling, like, the eyes, they just tell all sometimes. Next up would be just an audio call. Unfortunately, you can't see the face and body language there, but at least you could probably hear if they're nervous through the shakiness in their voice or through just through their tone as well. Let's see, and yeah, the form of communication that has the least richness is written communication. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever sent somebody an email or a message and they totally took it some other way sometimes, or maybe they were like really booty hurt and you did not intend to hurt them in any way. Yeah, sometimes a lot of that can be lost through written communication. Let's see. But a lot of the messaging, the emails, is very good convenience for asynchronous kind of communication. Like, people could respond whenever it's convenient to them. And then bullet points, that makes it a little easier for people to read. People don't want to just read like a full paragraph or a bunch of paragraphs in an email. Nobody wants to read a novel, right? And let's see. Yeah, email link. Again, back to the novel thing. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all probably just skim through your emails. You guys probably don't like sit there and like read line by line by line by line. Totally understandable. Like, you guys probably have better things to do here and there. But yeah, email length is pretty good. And let's see, paragraph breaks. Yes, again with the paragraphs, it just makes it a little easier for the reader. Trying to be a little bit more courteous to what would help make it easier and faster for them to read. And then adding descriptions and links. So whenever you guys are actually like within a company like network and stuff, you guys would be sharing very many different file repositories here and there. And some of y'all might appreciate it instead of your buddy telling you like, oh yeah, you can just go to this file. You might appreciate it if they actually just give you a link to the file. Of course, always hover over these links because you never know. But yeah, convenience is nice there. And then important information first. Again, not everybody reads through the whole email. And sometimes they only read like the first couple, three, like maybe the first paragraph, and that's just it. And then font formatting. So again, earlier, how written communication is like the least when it comes to richness in communication. That's why you would want to try to take advantage of font formatting, bold, italics, and underlining, to either provide more emphasis or to capture people's eyes there. And then you versus we versus I. So sometimes people can get a read on the kind of person you are based off of your language. And I guess, for example, for recruiters and for hiring managers, they really want to see or get a feel for what kind of person you are. Like, does this person seem team oriented, or they like more or way too individual, like wanting to work on their own kind of thing. Even just little things like your use of we versus you versus I. When you use more of the we, like me and my team, or our team, or we were able to deliver this product on time versus I was able to deliver this product on time. It just sounds more friendly and it just sounds more inclusive there. But any questions for effective email? Let's see. Something that I remember yesterday, a question was asked, timing when it comes to emails. Because sometimes there might be deadlines, but you also don't want to like seem like you're rushing people. It would really depend on the context and kind of the intuition kind of thing. Like if it's something that's really important, you might want to be a little bit more gentle, diplomatic, like, oh, hey, the deadline for this is coming up. If you need help trying to wrap up user story number 42, I could be able to help you out there kind of thing. And then they also added a little bit more to that question, like, what if you're trying to follow up with a recruiter that ghosted you? I'm pretty sure some of y'all probably have had that experience already. So it's good to keep in mind that they are still human and they could still take vacations and they might have like a bunch of other interviews or people that they're having coffee chats. They have their own doctor's appointments. So maybe like around like between 3 business days and maybe like a week kind of business days length would be probably a safe kind of area. Let's see. Moving on. And then yes, so an example walkthrough. So I'm gonna apologize ahead of time. So I'm sorry, you guys, but yeah. So yeah, this looks pretty ugly. I don't blame y'all if none of y'all are reading any of this, but you know, I'm gonna save y'all the time and read this for you guys. You know, good morning, Tamara. The meeting on Tuesday had a lot going on, so I'm feeling confused. I have a few questions too. How would the new system be implemented? How would we need to ask for approvals? Who would we go to for funding? And I'm pretty sure I already bored you guys, so I'm gonna stop reading there. But yeah, this honestly is just a mess. Like even I had it also pained me just writing this, not gonna lie. Yeah, before I dig into like breaking this down, what are some things that you guys would want to improve or remove right away? Yep, Solali.
It's too big. It should be more. So it's easier to read.
Definitely. Brady.
I think it should be a short introduction with just a list.
Yes. Because like from here, there's like all kinds of topics here. Like you got people talking about being confused about a meeting, bunch of questions, somebody talking about documentation, a bunch of money for hardware components, and like a mistaken user story number 42. Like too many things going on here. Anybody else wanting to pitch in? Think that what are some other improvements we would want to talk about before we continue? Yep. Cool. Alrighty, so let's make this a little prettier, shall we? Ah, yes. That already looks so much better, just breaking it up a little bit. And then right here, yeah, just I broke it up into the 4 sections about the documentation, the meeting, the hardware component costs, and the user story at the end there. And then making it a little bit more prettier, instead of having all those like bunch of clustered like questions up there, we decided to actually break these up into like little subtopics here. Normally, whenever you're actually in this kind of office environment, you normally don't really ask people like, hey, do you want to have a meeting? You normally just send a meeting invite with a couple of conversation topics, and then you'll see whether or not they decline or they would ask for a new meeting time kind of thing. But yeah, for the sake of this example, I just left it up here just to show how much more prettier it could look if, you know, just a little bit more cleaning and consideration of the reader here. And then let's see, the next thing up here. Yes, in that second paragraph, if you see there, in the beginning, I have another thing to mention as well. That's kind of obvious, so you don't really need to add some of that extra wordiness in there. So, you know, you could just remove it. Just save them some extra reading material. And then here we are. You know, Rosa and I are working on documentation. It's in the usual folder, ready for review. Okay, cool. So instead of that, how about we actually make life a little easier and provide the link for the draft document instead. Let's see. And then next up, instead of having all those numbers thrown out there and losing track of what is for what's this, what's that, and everything there, it was just a disorganized mess. So instead, we just put it in a nice, pretty table here. And as you can also see, like down here, the total, a manager reading this might care more about the cost or the overall cost rather than the subcomponent cost here. So just highlighted it a little bit for them to catch their eyes. And then moving on to that user story. So yeah, just reading this, it says, also your mistake in user story number 42 will need to be fixed by tomorrow before I go on vacation. Let's see, let me just remove that. Yeah, also, yeah. Will need to be fixed by tomorrow before I go on vacation so I can finish user story number 65 before the end of the sprint. That sounds pretty rude. But again, there's so many more other ways to just simply kindly, politely ask people. Maybe they just need help. Let's see. Oh, again, also for the you versus we versus I. Whenever you're wanting to point out a mistake to people, you normally don't want to associate it as their mistake. You more so want to associate that a mistake was in the code rather than your mistake in the code or what you said was wrong. Well, instead of that, you could go with what was said was incorrect. Trying to take away a little bit of pointing fingers kind of things. Let's see. And then, let's see where. Yeah, and then I just prettied it up a little bit, trying to make it a little bit more diplomatic. Since I'll be going on vacation soon, giving people a little bit of context of like why you're asking for this. Yeah, since I'll be going on vacation soon, would user story number 42 be ready by tomorrow? To wrap up its dependent user story number 65. Adding a little bit more context there, like why are you trying to rush me? Oh, you're waiting on me to try to wrap up this user story for you to be able to wrap things up before you leave. And then, just being courteous, being nice. If not, is there any way I can help? Because I don't know about you guys, but whenever I'm working on something, I always appreciate it when somebody tries to lend a hand, make my life easier, So yeah, that could help ease a little bit of the kind of pushing kind of thing right there. And then, yeah. Any questions? Yeah, and then here for this other one, like it was mentioned, like sort of to list them out a bit. So instead, here I just provided like little mini headers to guide the conversation. The first section being about meeting requests, next one, documentation review request, hardware cost, user story 42. And then I also put request up here because that gives them a sense of, oh, you're gonna wait for me to do something here, kind of thing. Because if not, then maybe they may perceive it more as a informational kind of thing instead of something that you might want them to actually get done. But yeah, just making it a little easier to read. And then something that I forgot to add was another slide where I actually bold these 4 sections. Because sometimes when you're actually like sending all these emails, sometimes you might have a full chain of emails sometimes, and you're really trying to rush, trying to find like that one email that has all the information that you need, but a lot of the emails look the same. So sometimes, bolding things, making things a little bit more easier to see keywords kind of things here. But yeah, overall, good to be courteous of the reader and trying to see how to make reading easier. And now for this little mini practice, this is for you guys to send me an email request on having a coffee chat. So this is partially just for me to get to see like where you guys are at in terms of comfortability in sending email communications. And this also helps us see whether or not you guys are like familiar or comfortable like sending your invites to us for the one-on-one sessions. Yeah. So yeah, I'll just give you guys like 5-10 minutes to work on that. Ugh. Little note for presentations. It's good to have water with you or a beverage. Oh, you guys are also more than free to ask me for help, by the way. I know maybe some of y'all, this might be your first time. That was also a lot of the case for some of the people yesterday too. So feel free to ask. I remember the thing that I mentioned at the beginning yesterday. So for some of y'all may have had some meetings where you may have run out of time, but there were so many questions, or you guys wanted to do some more practice and stuff like that, or you guys had more questions, but there was only like 1 or 2 leaders that were available to answer these questions. So in the future, we're gonna actually ask you guys to buddy up and sit next to a buddy there, so you guys could be able to help troubleshoot together. Since it could be a bit burdensome on you guys and on the project leaders to make everybody wait here and there. But yeah, in the future, you guys will be buddying up or sitting next to a buddy more often to help alleviate some of these the question pain points there. But yeah, just a heads up.
By copy chat, you just mean to talk over copy?
Mhm.
Okay.
And then with the virtual space, if your company is like basically completely virtual, it's safe to assume that it's just going to be virtual. If it's maybe through LinkedIn, maybe you know they live nearby, you guys can offer to meet up at a nearby coffee shop as well, to actually have one in person too. Any questions so far? Are everybody doing pretty all right? Cool. See. All right, thank you, Saoli. I got yours. Let's see. You guys, somebody or whoever has this room normally, I think they have sand here.
Do they have what?
They have sand. I'm not gonna touch it though. Because who knows, maybe they brought that from their travels or something. It looks like legit sand. There's a little trowel, there's a little shovel here too. They have a little car.
Oh my god.
I kid you not, they have a little car in here. Yeah. Wait, don't touch it.
Something there. Like a kid's play toy, right?
The sand?
Yeah.
Well, who knows, maybe they brought it from the travels or something. You know, sometimes
There's
people,
a toy there.
yes.
I don't know. I mean, it looks like toys to me.
Oh, yeah. Definitely toys. Oh, I wonder maybe, whoever has this room normally like brings in a kid or something.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, or maybe they're an education, professor kind of person.
It says class for AP Spanish.
Oh. What was that thing called? ESL, English Spanish Learning.
Never done it.
Yeah, I guess it's been more common now, like a lot of Spanish, or Hispanic people that come here. A lot of them don't know English.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Or,
Non-English
Yeah.
speakers, yeah.
but like a lot of teachers are like English speaking only, so they gotta still try to learn how to teach this kind of stuff or know how to approach it.
That makes sense.
Alrighty. Anybody else needing some help? Or actually, let me see. I could get it here.
Are we gonna review everyone's emails?
Yes.
Rate them out,
Yes.
1 to 10?
Oh, I'm not gonna rate them. No.
I'm reading it out.
Wait, what?
No, go ahead.
Oh, but no, I'm not gonna rate them, but I would provide feedback since I guess written communication and stuff like that, it's still good. Let's see. Alrighty, thank you, Brady. Thank you, Hector. Yeah. Or, wait, were you able to?
Yeah.
Or, let's see, because I don't see it popping up on my end.
Oh.
Let's see. Unless it's trying to load. Thank you, Xavier.
Oh, I forgot to do.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So you went to the second introduction session, right? The second introduction session? The one in the afternoon? It's okay, because for the first introduction session that I was there, I did share a little bit of a story with that. Again, when it comes to working in a team, this past semester, I messed up, to put it bluntly. You know, a lot of us are gonna have some moments where you have to work in teams for a school project or a paper. And sometimes people don't really do their half of the work. But I learned that that's not always the case sometimes. So I created a Teams channel at some point. We were all communicating through GroupMe and everything. And when I was adding people to the Teams channel, I kind of made assumptions about the emails. Like I invited somebody that was not the actual person that was in my group. Yeah, because right here, this is me, but the person that you sent it to was not me, right? So my mess up was me assuming for like a month that this person wasn't doing anything because they didn't want to do anything. But really, I just didn't enable them to help or contribute to the project. So sometimes it might not just be them. It could also very much be on our fault as well. So whenever you do have some of these kind of people in your group, whether it be like maybe their fault or your fault, in this case, my fault, but it's good to also just, you know, message them on the side, see like how they're doing, are they okay, or is there something else that you could do for them? But yeah, let me just double check. Let's see, yep, got it this time. But yeah, it never hurts to reach out to those people to make sure that they have access to your team channel, to your team channel. But anyway, that was my lesson learned there, and all right. Thank you guys. See, I'll be getting back to you all on like a little bit of feedback and a little bit of my availability here and there. Have you guys have had experience like using the scheduler or scheduling assistant?
I could figure it out.
Yeah, it's like not that crazy, but it could be a little weird like looking at it for the first time since you normally don't see that kind of thing. But yeah, let's see. Moving on for now. Wait. Okay, yep. Moving on to presentations, the really fun hard part. Yeah, the really fun hard part. Like I guess again, for a lot of us here, we really want to go onto the technical side of things, but we're gonna find ourselves having to do a lot of presentations, trying to communicate all kinds of messages and all kinds of things to people that may have little to no background in technology. So, and normally people that have really good communication skills, they're able to advance in whatever company or organization significantly much more faster than peers that are still trying to work on those kind of skills there. So, let's see. But again, before I go on for the presentations thing, and for the business communication stuff, I know a lot of this might sound kind of common sense or like, no, Durham, Maria, like, of course you probably want to do that. But again, this project is supposed to try to provide you guys a bit of foundational kind of knowledge and try to fill in whatever gaps there may be. Since not all of us come from the same background or education. So I'm just trying to put some of this out there just to make sure that you guys are aware and could be able to implement this in your own internships or entry-level work as well. But yeah, presentations. So how many of y'all are normally nervous whenever you're publicly speaking or doing any kinds of presentations? Okay, 1, 2, okay, yeah. So, I don't know if you guys are able to tell or not, but or would be able to guess, but I'm actually very shy. Normally I'm very shy. Back in high school or like early when I was first starting college, I struggled to do public speaking a lot. But one of the things that really helped me improve and feel more comfortable is just kind of forcing myself to have to be in those situations where I kind of have to do presentations or have to talk to people or host events kind of thing. For example, when I was a resident assistant, I would create like events for the people that were living there. And I was very nervous because, I mean, I don't know, maybe they would hate it or maybe you know, a lot of like self-doubt and kind of things, but overall, after some practice, it did get easier. And that also helps me out whenever I was doing events for the cybersecurity club as well. Um, yeah, but over time, it just got a little easier. Sometimes you might feel a little bit more nervous if you're trying to present on a topic that you're not familiar with. And that's totally okay. That's why you might want to prepare ahead of time if you're able to, if you do have the time to maybe research some things before you do get down to presenting. Well, let's see. Oh, but yeah, honestly, I still get nervous. You guys, again, might not be able to tell, but earlier this semester, very recently, I was hosting a hybrid meeting, and thankfully there was a podium to hide like my shaking legs there. Yeah, so yeah, like I still have to work on that myself, but thankfully it's gotten a little easier for me just from having to do it for so many times. And then mock presentation. If you're able to, if you do have the extra time to actually do like a full run through of how you would be able to do it, and how you would go about it. Let's see, and then rehearsing. This is kind of like a little bit of a miniature, less extensive form of like mock presenting. You know, just like maybe rehearsing some lines of how you would like introduce things or like how you would transition to a next topic. Just a few things to, in a way, kind of autopilot through a kind of a presentation, or for things to feel more more natural whenever you're presenting. And then purpose. So one of the things that makes it easier for me to be up here for you guys today, one of the reasons why I even was comfortable or confident enough to be a project leader for the summer for you guys is because I really want to help you guys. And it would be hard to do that if I didn't put myself in these kind of situations. But let's see. Yeah, similar to why I really wanted to be an officer for the cybersecurity club. I gained a lot through the organization, through the different people that I was able to meet, how they were able to help me, the different guest speakers, the different resources that people threw out there on the Discord or anything like that. I was really grateful. And for me, I really wanted to be able to give back. And again, it's kind of hard sometimes as an individual contributor. So that's why I wanted to become an officer and make it a little easier for me to give back there. And then a second opinion. It's very good to maybe send your slides or a report or any kind of like email communication to a buddy and be like, hey, does this look like trash? Yeah, like for real, like it happens like all the time. Well, maybe not specify if it's trash, but it's really good to get a second opinion because who knows, maybe they might pop up a few questions that some of your audience might bring in, or maybe they could really help reorient your message whenever you're trying to create your slides there. And then again, for the second opinion, back when I was a mechanical engineering major, my engineering design professor, he was an interesting character sometimes. Like one of the things that he would say or teach us is that engineers could have like ugly baby syndrome sometimes. Yeah, so okay, so it sounds a little crazy, but let me elaborate for a minute there. So oftentimes a lot of engineers take a lot of pride in their work, and rightfully so. There's like a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that goes into that. But maybe it's not the best design. Maybe it's not the most efficient. Maybe it would cost too much for the engineering firm or company to be able to implement. Sometimes you really do need to hear from somebody to tell you that your baby's ugly. That maybe maybe the baby does need a paper bag. But anyway, and this is not me telling you to tell people that their babies are ugly, by the way. Not to take it out of context. But sometimes maybe you really do need to get a second opinion sometimes. And just so you guys know, whenever you're giving and receiving feedback, like I could understand why people would feel a little hurt or down if they see like a lot of comments or a lot of things that you got to redo and fix. But it's also a little hard for the person that's providing the feedback as well, because sometimes if you're working with people for the first time, you're worried like, oh, if I do all of this, would they think I'm too nitpicky? Would they think that I'm giving them too much work or something like that? But for me, one of the ways that I reorient this for myself as a person receiving feedback is that they're helping me look better. And for whoever is going to actually receive this message or actually receive the presentation. And also, it would be good to not take all of these comments and kind of feedback too personally sometimes, because again, sometimes people can accidentally hurt others unintentionally. Like it happens. That's why it would be good to try to consider and think twice of what you're trying to say sometimes. But yeah, it's good to keep in mind that people want to help. They want to provide feedback to help you. They don't want to try to hurt you or like make you feel uncomfortable or anyway. Let's see, and then co-hosting. Back to when I was a resident assistant, the first event that I hosted, I wasn't alone. I actually did it with another buddy. Like my other buddy, she was also very nervous doing it for the first time, like hosting an event kind of thing. So we actually decided to team up and do it together. And from there, it was like so much more easier to facilitate the whole thing, to be able to ask and answer questions here and there. And if I, for example, got stuck trying to elaborate or discuss the topic, then she would have been able to carry it on. Or sometimes, for some of us, we might be stronger in one area compared to another. For example, earlier for the cybersecurity club, me and Hussein did a co-hosting event for phishing related things. Like for me, I discussed a little bit more on the human side of phishing, while Hussein did a little bit more on the technical side of things. So sometimes it could actually really help the presentation in general if you're able to team up with a buddy, if possible. But yeah, let's see. And then technology tests. You guys have probably had plenty of times where your professors are like completely unprepared and then they got to bring IT in because they couldn't get the setup to work or it's not displaying on the right screen kind of thing. It would be a hard or a rough assumption to assume that everybody has the same system as you. I guess, for example, many of us have like maybe just Windows or maybe have Linux or a Mac kind of thing. And yeah, like if I remember in last week's meeting on Monday, there was like a lot of like technical difficulties, like, oh, I tried downloading it, but it didn't work out. Oh, it worked out for me. Yeah, it's hard to account for these kind of things, but yeah, technology tests. At the beginning of this fall 2021 semester, since we were finally able to kind of do hybrid or like in-person kind of meetings, it was unfortunate that we couldn't always have the same room sometimes, like ERB 228. That's like one of our popular common meeting areas, but sometimes we had to go to Netterman or like to a different area in the ERB. And a lot of them have completely different setups. Like if you were to look at this setup over here in Trimble Hall, over at ERB 228, it's completely different. You kind of got to mess with some of the buttons in the back and with the actual setup there. But yeah, technology tests is also pretty good. It was pretty funny too, because I guess sometimes I didn't always have access to these rooms, so I would kind of sneak into the lecture hall a little before time, and I would try to test out and see like the audio, was there echo kind of thing here and there. I do remember like one of the professors like kind of caught me and they were like, what are you doing? And I was like, I am practicing for a presentation. And they were like, okay, I'm going to be doing a lecture stand. And I was like, cool, I'll be out of here right now. But yeah, it's really good to practice and make sure that your technology is going to be working before you present. And then overall, what helps you stay calm whenever you're trying to present? Because many of us cope with this kind of thing very differently. One of the things that makes it a little easier for me sometimes is On my way here, for example, I like to sing in my car. That really helps warm up my vocal cords, kind of thing. I wouldn't really do it in person, of course, because I'm too nervous to sing in front of people, kind of. But yeah, that really helps make me feel more comfortable projecting my voice as well. I don't know if you guys sometimes go many hours without speaking sometimes, or maybe don't really speak very often. Even doing some like just general, like generic kind of vocal warm-ups is good too. But yeah. And then even though these are all kind of like sectioned off, you can very much combine these easily. Like you don't have to do like one thing and just call it a day. Like, let's see. I feel like a lot of these like can be easily combined and make the whole presentation process much more smoother. But yeah, any questions for this slide? Okay. Alrighty, and then these are just some generic, kind of generic, some presentation tips. So whenever we're feeling nervous, we kind of tend to talk a little faster sometimes. And if we do that, we may leave some people kind of behind, like in terms of understanding. Maybe you're going way too fast trying to explain a technical concept, and then you just completely lose them because you're talking way too fast. And happens. But you could always just reiterate on what you said. Because again, sometimes we might not catch all of the understanding of whatever technical concepts the first time around, but whenever people reiterate on what they're trying to say, people are able to catch on much more quickly the second time around you try to explain or reiterate. And then providing examples or analogies here. A lot of these things are very abstract. It's very hard to kind of communicate the specific thing. So being able to tie it into something tangible or lifelike or things that the audience can relate to would be very good. Let's see. And then repeating the question that was asked. So this one is kind of pertains a little bit more for hybrid meetings. Whenever like a microphone is like kind of away from you guys, like for example, if maybe Brady asked a question just now, it would be hard for the microphone over here to pick it up. So if he were to ask a question, I could always just repeat it again for whoever's listening on this end to make sure that they also get to hear it. See, and then transition words. So I don't know about you guys, if you guys have ever been in a virtual lecture or anything like that, and you're not really listening to the lecture, you're actually doing something else on the side, like maybe playing a game on your phone or a whole like other YouTube video that's much more engaging or interesting. Similar to a corporate environment, sometimes people are multitasking and like doing something else on the side. And sometimes a way to bring their attention back into the conversation is to use some transition words like, oh, this would be critical. This would be critical moving on. The word critical could pull people back in. Or whenever you say moving on, then that could also signal for people that you're going to be talking about something else. In conclusion, to elaborate. And then this is also good to give people a sense of what's going to come next in the conversation as well. Let's see. Yeah, very good to position there. And let's see, let me just move that a little out of the way. And then facial expressions. So again, going back to like the body language and stuff and richness in communication, we're able to tell a lot about a person or receive a lot of what they're feeling just based off of their face. I'm pretty sure plenty of professors can get a feel for facial expressions, seeing how bored or how lost or how dead some students are sometimes, as an example. Body language, very good kind of stuff there. Cultural differences. So some of y'all might already be familiar or like have an idea of this kind of thing, but what I do here when I'm presenting might be completely inappropriate in a whole different other country. So before you're ever like working with somebody that's like in a different country, it would be good to study up on some of the common mistakes when people are trying to work professionally with them. Mm, let's see. And then humor slash the human side. Um, so at the end of the day, a lot of people don't really want to just talk to machines all day, or like sometimes it could be annoying or tiresome, always having that professional filter out. And sometimes you do want to let out a little bit of that more humorous, more you side, kind of the conversation. Um, Normally, whenever you're meeting people for the first time or a client for the first time, it would be good to have, it would generally be good to have that like that professional filter, just so they get a feel that, oh, this person is professional, they know what they're doing, kind of feel. But as you kind of see and sense that their wording and the way that they're handling themselves is becoming more looser, you could also try to match that level of casuality with them as well. Like, oh, they're, let's see, what would be an example? Like, instead of them saying, I will do this, they could slowly start saying, I'll do this. Like a little bit more casual slang. Like, I know it's not that, it doesn't seem like that crazy, but little subtle things like that can make a difference and can be an indicator of relationship change. Let's see. And then again, yeah, like for the humor slash human side, I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have more fun working with people that are more fun, right? So, let's see. Yeah, definitely having more fun with people that are fun. Let's see. Yeah, it's also just easier to connect people through humor sometimes too. Understandably, sometimes humor might be different for every one of us here. Maybe some of us like the dark humor more, or some of us might feel totally weirded out with dark humor. Totally understandable. Again, being able to kind of gauge where people are at in terms of comfortability and professionality kind of thing. But yeah, let's see. Alrighty, and then more presentation slide tips specifically. So whenever I was receiving some of these slides, I noticed that a lot of them were like kind of blank. And it's okay, like this is like the first time and everything. But whenever you're like in PowerPoint, you go to the home tab on the far right, you're able to see this design ideas. So whenever you're creating a new PowerPoint for the first time, you can actually just go here and just save yourself like some having to be creative and just like get the design ideas from the designer itself. I mean, that's actually how I created this slide, these set of slides too. So it saved me some thinking there. So yeah, so I know we already kind of touched up on bullet points for the emails, but when it comes to presentation slides, I don't know if you guys have listened or have had your fellow students do presentations sometimes, and they kind of just read off the slide. Like you don't really gain anything more. So that's why normally you want to use bullet points in the slides to guide your conversation instead of having to read the whole thing there. Like being able to freestyle a little bit based off of what's on here. And then big text. So this is very good for being considerate kind of thing. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all would probably be hating me right now if I just decided to make this like a 10-point font or like a 5-point font. Yeah, nobody would be having fun with that. So big text is normally pretty good, especially if like maybe people are have trouble seeing kind of things as well. Let's see, defining, discussing similar sounding words. So sometimes when you're learning things for the first time, for any kind of class or subject, sometimes these words might kind of sound the same and kind of lose their meaning. Like, for example, if I were to say policy, procedures, and standards, that kind of sound very similar, very much the same to you guys maybe, right? So it would be normally pretty good to try to elaborate or define those kind of things. And then acronyms. Be careful with acronyms because sometimes an acronym in one field, like for example, healthcare, medical, might be completely different from another acronym that's used in manufacturing. So It's always good. And as well as sometimes people forget that not everybody in the company has been working there for 10, 50 years. Like kind of assume that, oh, they should know these acronyms by now. But oftentimes you might have people coming in and out of your group pretty often. Like maybe you have contractors or new interns or new entry-level employees that are still trying to figure out what's going on. So they would really appreciate it if maybe at the beginning of the presentation or of a report or an email that you list out the acronym. Let's see. Let's see. And then pictures / figures, icons, and screenshots. So that normally helps kind of convey a message a little easier too. It's also a little bit more visually appealing. Like, let's see. Pictures, figures, icons, and screenshots. Like I know for me, the way I learn, it's a little bit easier for me to learn whenever I actually see something. If people just describe this very abstract, this very crazy thing to me, sometimes I get a little lost, unfortunately, and sometimes I do feel bad having to ask them repeat it again. So, you know, sometimes a figure or two can really help guide the conversation or help the person know what you're trying to say. And then too much / not enough information. So that could be, that'll be a little bit more based off of your intuition. Like maybe you're very good at communicating verbally, so you don't really need a whole lot of information on the slide. Let's see, or maybe there's not enough information and then you leave people asking you a whole lot of questions after the meeting. So yeah, good to try to keep in mind of the audience. What kind of information would they kind of need? Kind of thing there. And then again, ease of reading / visually appealing / too much text. Let's see, like back when we were trying to work through that walkthrough of like that email, that very first one when it was just a big old chunk of text. I'm pretty sure none of y'all read it. Like I didn't want to read it either. So again, like you probably don't want to have like too much text on here. And then grammar, that would be good to have a buddy to take a look at your slides, report, email kind of thing, to make sure that there aren't any like slight mistakes here and there. Let's see. Then, yeah, so this is just touching up a little bit more on the virtual / hybrid presentations. Again, with the multitaskers, sometimes they don't look at your slides either. So that's why sometimes being able to really rope them back in with your through transition words and like keywords like critical, important, or this might save you some time later. That could really bring them back there. And in person, virtual, hybrid struggles. Yeah, like for example, if you have a very hybrid workforce, you might have some people coming into meetings a little late because maybe they're in person and they were caught up chatting and having like water cooler talk with a buddy nearby, or maybe it took them a long time to get from the first floor over to like the 5th floor kind of thing. Well, there's a few things here and there. See, and then technical difficulties and differences. We touched upon that a little earlier. And then time zones. So this could actually come to your advantage or disadvantage. Now, initially this might seem like a disadvantage because like, oh, they only work in that time zone. That's not very convenient for me. But for example, in my project management book, they were actually able to create an artificial 24-hour workday. Like somebody, like a team in the US, a team in Australia, and a team in Switzerland, they were able to continue to pass off the project tasks to whoever's next in time. Like for example, Team USA would work on it for 8 hours, and then once that time was up, they would like let Australia know, like, hey, we're done with this. This is what we were able to get done. Can you continue from there? And then Australia gets it done, and then updates Switzerland, and then back to USA, and bam, a 24-hour workday right there. So yeah, time zones can either be advantageous or disadvantageous. Just got to be able to be strategic with it sometimes. And now it's y'all's turn. So let's see. Alrighty, so anybody wanting to go up first? Let's go, Brady. Ready? Alrighty. Let's see. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Brady Wen. I'm a computer engineering student, and today we'll be talking briefly about disk and memory. Memory is used on what a computer is doing right then, there at the moment. You could have a Google Chrome tab open, Spotify open, listen in the background, a game you're playing, anything that's happening right then and there, usually is what memory is powering or what is taking up memory. If your computer is running slow, it's because of all those tasks, which is the most common thing to compare it to is just having stuff out on your desk, just taking away your attention span, just right then, there in the moment. Once you clear it all away, you work more efficiently, everything works. The difference that disk have to memory are that disks store information that you don't really need in the moment, just long term, maybe like a password list or something you don't really access day to day, past presentations or whatnot. And these, unlike memory, once you turn off the power, memory just goes away, like clearing your desk off at the end of the day. This stays with you. It just stays in the backlog, basically, just there whenever you need it. And that's the main difference between disk and memory. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you want to stay up here for a little bit more? So I guess like first off, were you feeling nervous?
I guess a little nervous. I think it's good to be nervous because it shows that you care about something.
Yeah.
But not too nervous.
Okay, I was just curious because like you were like kind of like pacing a little bit from side to side. Is that like just
do that.
natural?
I do that with real life when I'm eating. I like bounce a fork if I have food on it, just pacing. When I'm on a phone, I pace. Just a normal thing I do.
Totally understandable. Let's see. Is there anything that you guys feel like he did pretty well or any tips or recommendations?
Clear communication. I understood what he said.
Simple and sweet, short and sweet.
Is there anything that you feel like you would like to improve for next time?
I guess if it goes more in depth, having broader examples or more examples that hit on, I guess.
Let's see. Oh yeah, it's also nice that you put some pictures on here, give people an idea of like what you're actually talking about. Let's see. One little mini recommendation. Maybe in the first bullet point for memory to make it bold to pop out.
Okay.
And then similar with disks there, just to make it a little easier for people to know like, oh, this is what it's talking about. But yeah, other than that, looked pretty clean, pretty good. Woo! Alrighty, thank you. And going on to, where's my mouse? Can't see my mouse. Oh, I see it again. Return to presenters, and who's next?
Just get it out the way.
Sure.
I forgot what I said about.
That's okay. Let's see. And let's go.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the future of exercising and nutrition is here, Tomato-tan, right? This was created in Japan. Basically, the whole premise of this is that you can go and have a stroll and run, just enjoy your walk in the day and also get the nutritional value that you need on the daily. The really good thing about this is, I mean, you're over here having weight training, carrying the robot around. You're snacking, so you don't have to eat after you work out, and you're getting a workout in. So this is the future. Our target group was, of course, everybody who likes to go to the gym or everybody who likes to work out. Not me, but everybody else. As you can see, he's enjoying the product. He's really loves tomatoes. Right now, our product only uses tomatoes. It's been specifically designed so that it does not smash the tomatoes. But we are looking to move into other fruits and vegetables. So you can be looking to get any kind of nutrition that you want from a buddy on the back of your back while you work out. What could be better? And I mean, yeah, I think that's it.
Nice.
I mean,
Wow. Yes, but yeah, that was actually very good. Not gonna lie, that was very good. Very good using your hands for motions and stuff like that. You sounded pretty confident as well. A lot of good humorous moments as well. Let's see.
I'm not afraid of like talking in front of people, like if, or presenting what I'm not, but I'm not really good at talking to,
Non-technical people?
like, let's say that if I'm like, okay, talking to a group of people that I don't know, whatever, I don't care. But if it's something like to start getting, I don't know, I'm just not comfortable with like actually getting to talk to actual like friends and stuff like that. That's where I struggle. But like
Interesting.
presenting, not too much.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
let's
yeah.
see. Is there anything that you guys think that he did pretty well? Or what else?
I like that the slide doesn't have too much information. It has just enough for me to understand what it is. And the explanation did everything that I needed.
You know, I made that like in 5 minutes. I
Yeah, that's
literally
true.
looked up.
But the bonus slides,
You know,
Yeah.
I was gonna do one on like this rock, the pear rock, but with a USB stick because it was supposed to be about technology. So that's what I was gonna do it about. But then I found this gem and
That's nice. Where did you learn about this from?
YouTube?
actually, one of my friends told me. Like I was, we were talking, and then he was like, "Hey, you know, I saw this in the group chat."
Sweet, nice.
Anybody else wanting to mention anything? Comments?
I think it's very high.
Yes. Yeah, I forgot to put this on the slides too, like having things to attract attention or maintain attention.
This guy, he's the inventor, but it's a Japanese company that made this because there's a whole topic where you make technology that is useless, but it solves a problem. So that's what he made it for.
Oh.
Oh, our Lord and Savior.
That was from yesterday. But wait, is there anything that you feel like you would like to improve for next time?
Eye contact. I am not very good at that. So
Yeah, to be fair, in a group discussion, you don't really need to maintain eye contact. So that might be a positive, but one-on-ones probably shouldn't.
yeah. Oh, like groups and messaging, I'm fine with that, but yeah, face to face is troublesome.
That's fine, that's fair.
Oh,
Standing up.
Oh no, you're good.
You're good.
But I guess another thing for eye contact, I guess there are like people out there that like legit can't do eye contact. Like it just makes it so uncomfortable for them. Like, but like sometimes it is understandable whether or not like some people do eye contact or not. But whatchamacallit, let's see, what was I gonna say about that again? Oh, with the virtual hybrid stuff, you guys are gonna have to be looking at the camera instead of at the presentation slides sometimes. So it would be good to look up there again. Alrighty, who is next? Alrighty. Alrighty.
By the way, my last name is actually Marin. No, it's alright.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's good.
Okay.
Since I'm not with UTA, my son wouldn't show up as easy.
Alrighty,
It's
let's.
not good. Alright, so, oh, it looks like it didn't format as well, from Google Slides to PowerPoint.
Yeah.
That's fine though, but normally this would actually be a table. But, alright, quick intro, Xavier, know a little bit about everything. I know a lot about a few things. But anyways, right, topic is based here. We're gonna try to condense this pretty big topic, even the best of them have like, takes like 10 to 15 minutes, but I'll just give you the fundamentals of it. So really base theorem is used in a lot. It's what you use to like make decisions, you use it in AI statistics. You see these formulas, pretty important, but you don't necessarily need it to understand the fundamental of Bayes' theorem. All it really is every time you have new information, your judgment, you know, the way you predict things changes each time. So prior probability, that's up at the top really. Initial estimate, or yeah, for example, here's like a fire. So let's say you see smoke coming out, what's the chance that's a fire, right? Initial estimate, this is your odds, right? This is, you would say, all right, how likely is that fire danger? How likely is a fire to be dangerous? You know, 1% of the time, right? Not all fires are dangerous. You know, you have like gas stoves, burners, things like that. But now let's say you're walking by, right, and you like see smoke coming out. So you want to say, all right, how likely is it that I should check out that smoke? So next you want to think, all right, what's the probability of smoke given that it's a dangerous fire? About 90%, roughly. You can actually look up some data for this. And then you also want to look up next, think about probability of smoke given it's not a dangerous fire. So, sometimes people are making barbecues, having a good time. So given all that, actually, looks like it didn't format well to the PowerPoint. Yeah, okay. Okay, I guess, wait, okay, there we go, my bad.
Oh, never, go on.
Yeah, so like the whole bottom part got cut off, that's on me though, I just couldn't really check. But basically, once you calculate everything, you have like a 9% chance that that smoke is probably something you wanna check out. It's 10%, right? Doesn't seem that massive, but it's like 1 in 10 chance if you see some smoke coming in your house, you probably wanna go check it out, right? But basically, all Bayes' theorem really is, every time you get new data, you change your like judgment, right? So, and if you saw some smoke in your house, the probability that that smoke is actually dangerous would jump. Instead of 9%, maybe 50%, right? Smoke in your house is not very normal. But yeah, that's really Bayes' theorem. Just a quick rundown.
It good use of using different colors. Very good.
For technical content, this is slide information displayed very well. I'd say if it weren't cut off, but this is I would like technical content in an organized manner.
Yeah, also, I guess partially also my bad for the layout as well, because
That's more on me, just because I forgot that Docs to PowerPoint is pretty good, but sometimes Google gives you like more workspace than the actual like PowerPoint. It's like not a perfect transition.
I guess like because the process that I was doing it in is like I started off from scratch in PowerPoint. So going from Google Docs to PowerPoint and then PowerPoint to Google Docs right now.
Oh wait, this is Google Docs again?
Yes.
Oh, that's why. Oh, I could have just sent you the Google Docs file.
Yeah. So
Oh, that's fine then.
yeah, my bad.
No, that's okay.
But overall, I think you did pretty well. Like especially tying it to something in real life. Like a lot of people hate math, so if they were to look at the formulas, they would like internally barf. But because you were able to like really tie it well to something that's actually very more tangible, something that they see like every day or on the news or stuff like that. Very, very good there. Anybody else?
Yeah.
That Xavier thought he did well. For comments.
Yeah, the awkward part about Bayes' theorem, it's actually like even 3 blue, 1 brown took him like 15 minutes to like really get at it.
Hmm.
So like 1 minute of this. It's a lot.
Oh, is there anything else that you feel like you would like to improve for next time?
Honestly, I'd say it's pretty fine besides the presentation layout. I think this is like as good as you could ever get. One of the information I got this partially was from a book I read recently, just finished it, Nate Silver's Signal and the Noise. The example we had was really good, but not very family friendly. But yeah, honestly, it's not bad. It's just like I said, Bayes' theorem is like pretty heavy. But really, I just used the slide to like, you see the formula. So if you ever want to plug things in yourself, you could do it. But really, the whole point was to just tell you guys that you basically use Bayes' theorem every day. You always change your predictions every day. You don't always have like the same chance of something happening, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Thank you. Alrighty, who's next? Sure. Ready? Alrighty.
Okay. So my name is Adeli. I'm a software engineer and oh my God, I'm so sorry.
I'm good.
So today I'm going to be talking about the Google user interface. So basically this is about being able to communicate with your computer via pointing and like little icons. So an example might be my desktop. And if I want to click on Chrome, that's because of the graphic user interface. And if I want to click Google Chrome or Discord, all that stuff. And so basically, you can live without a graphic user interface. It'll probably be a lot harder because you have to use command lines and you have to use all that stuff. And yeah, that's basically it.
Very nice photo. Very visually appealing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Did you feel nervous?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes we might feel or might be speaking a little more softly sometimes. Whenever we're first trying to do presentations. Anybody else for comments, feedback, things that she did well?
Straight to the point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty clear and concise.
Picture of the GUI.
Yeah.
Straight to the topic.
Is there anything you feel like you could do better for next time?
Probably add some like, what's it called, text,
Hmm?
because I didn't really think about that. I was like, oh, I'll just use an example of my desktop and I'll like get to it. Like,
That's perfectly fine. I think,
it was better.
yeah,
Instead of having a list.
less text is better.
Where you
always.
just point to stuff right there.
Yeah, for something like this, like it makes sense to like not even have text, honestly, because that's basically what a graphic user interface is.
Yeah. literally.
Just that. Yeah. So yeah, nice.
Nice work.
thanks.
Alrighty. Yes. Alrighty. No? Ready? Cool. Alrighty, let's go.
So I will be talking about cloud computing. It's basically like a hard drive, but virtually. Like you can store stuff, I guess, on the web, and it can be public or private. Private, I guess, is like more like for companies and stuff. And public, anyone can use. There are different types of cloud services. There's like SAS, which is software as a service, which is basically like Microsoft Office 365, which is like you can click on it, like your emails and stuff. And then there's infrastructure as a service. I don't really know what that is. There's like IBM and Microsoft Azure. Yeah, I guess if you work with those, you kind of know what it is. And then there is platform as a service, which is basically like delivering software online. I guess it's the most complex as well. The pros and cons, the pros are basically like it's super fast, efficient, and can be cheap. And also be expensive as well. The disadvantage is that basically like security stuff, like their like internal bugs or whatnot. And yeah, businesses also use cloud computing.
So how comfortable would you say that you are communicating about cloud computing in general?
No, nothing. This is only from one website.
Oh, okay. But whatchamacallit? But yeah, I mean, it's understandable. Like, a lot of us will kind of low-key be expected to give a bunch of presentations of things that we don't really know. So we gotta like shoot our shot and do the best we can with our understanding. Something that was kind of good that you mentioned is that like you didn't really know much about like I think it was platform as a service, right? Or infrastructure as a service. Yeah, for that one. A lot of people in the technical community appreciate people that are able to be honest about that thing. Because I don't know if you guys have already had people in your classes that kind of like be all smarty like and stuff, like trying to brag about all the technical things they know and try to pass off that they know something when they really don't. So it's always very good. And let's see, it could also help maybe your team members know like, oh, they're not so familiar with this topic. Maybe I can provide you some links or YouTube videos on infrastructure as a service. But let's see. Good photo. Let's see.
I think pretty solid. I can't think of anything to criticize, honestly.
Fairly clean. Maybe bullet points, I guess. But then again, I guess these are all like just separate topics, right? Okay, yeah, then probably no bullet points
I
points
just
then.
wish I had like a solid understanding of cloud computing, so.
On that, don't worry too much. Right now, cloud is like pretty huge. Like, it took me like a while before I actually understood what's going on. 'Cause you have like all the cloud platforms, then AWS has like 200 services. So it's like, that's why so many people are confused, because it's a lot.
Yeah, and then actually for cloud stuff, so since you're a UTA student, I forgot where on the on one of the UTA websites, but as a student, you could actually like work with Azure. Yes.
GitHub? The GitHub student pack.
Uh,
So,
I forget, but I do know that there's like a thing for that as well.
yeah, so I don't know about UTA, but I would wait a bit on it. You do want to know a bit of what's going on before, because those are basically when you sign up for Azure, because Microsoft wants to be more competitive, they give out like what, $150 in free credits for like 3 months or 1 month, and you can use that. And if you use the GitHub Student Pack, if you sign up through that as well, you get $100 of free credit a year, so you can like mess around on Azure all you want. I do recommend a couple guides because there are some ways to like go over budget, let's say.
Let's see. Is there anything else that y'all thought Tiffany did well, or like any comments or recommendations?
But like no one expects it in it's not. Even I don't know anything about it, honestly. Magical Bezos, man.
Amazon like out,
They just wave a wand, right? But
just retail and tech. That's impressive.
yeah. Whatchamacallit, is there anything you feel like you would like to improve on for next time?
Actually really know what I'm talking about. Cause like, I feel like I present okay, like I can talk in front of like a group of people, it's just, I really need to know what I'm talking.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So let's see, what else was I gonna mention today? Let's see, let me go back. Let's see, where's my mouse? Ah, there we go.
Oh, Maria, so I don't have like a lot of technical knowledge, so Maria just sent me a list of stuff. Yeah.
It's okay. It's pretty like, when you get into it, it's pretty boring.
Cloud,
I had to-
really? Cloud's
I had
exciting.
to write a capstone about it. I had to write a 25 page paper about it. It's not.
Writing about cloud is boring. Doing cloud is fun.
Wait, I forgot, what was the list that I gave you again?
Doing cloud is horrible.
Okay, Azure's platform is smoother. It's a nicer experience. AWS's, if you're not like looking at thought, it can get really messy. AWS is messy.
The only good cloud is not doing any cloud. Everything else is cloud. I don't wanna do cloud. I wanna do it once and I'm gonna be done. Nothing. I don't ever look at it.
That's the opposite.
But what was I gonna say? Wait, what list did I give you again?
On Discord, it was like
For-
cybersecurity stuff.
Wait, was it
Like A
the
to Z.
A to Z? Oh, the Cyberwire.
Yeah.
The glossary, right? Now I remember. Gotta love the Cyberwire. But okay, so a couple of next steps. So I will be making another announcement and stuff regarding the next round of presentations. Well, I guess before I jump there, what did you guys think of like today's session topic? Do you feel like it was good, or do you think this was kind of trash, or do you guys would still want to do this still?
How many people showed up on the other day?
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me look at the list. There was Preston, there was Brian, Saja was there. Let's see.
Oh, Mario said he couldn't show up today. He said he wants to present the slide for a different day. That's what he told me.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Let's see. Yesterday, Javier was there, Juan was there, Ravi was there. Like about 6, 7 people yesterday, I think. Hussein was there. I was there.
When is Long coming back again?
Saturday.
Like in advance or?
Yes. Yeah, like I did drop that in the group chat. Yeah. I was like,
I didn't know what's happening.
yeah, but whatchamacallit. But anyway, so you guys had the chance to choose your own topic, but now I will be giving you a topic this time instead. since oftentimes we don't always get to present the things that we would prefer. And we normally get dropped onto random projects that we don't really know about, but still got to present about anyway. Let's see. And it won't just be about like just random stuff. I'll actually be pulling these items from the CompTIA Security Plus kind of objectives and like common keywords kind of things. So something that is still pretty relevant and pretty useful for you if you're interested in attaining that certificate someday. Let's see. Yeah, this would be not this next week, but like the one after that we would be presenting again. Oh, a heads up as well. We will be doing a workshop on LinkedIn as well as resume stuff.
Yep.
Because how many of y'all have not started on LinkedIn yet? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, so, yep, understandable, pretty good. Oh, I guess not good, but understandable. But yeah, it's normally so much better to have that done and out of the way ahead of time. Before you actually have to need it, before you got to do job fairs or meeting with recruiters or anything. Also, if you want to network on LinkedIn as well, but yeah, I'll be doing a workshop on that. But back to the resume things. How many of y'all don't have a resume at all? Okay. How many of y'all have like an all right resume? Okay.
Is it updated like recently or recently? Okay.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next point. Like probably before I do that workshop, y'all like update it a little bit before having to do updating plus like refining during that or after that workshop. So just a heads up there, please try to touch your resumes up a little bit before that. Let's see. I would also be doing a presentation. Well, I normally do this already for the cybersecurity club for the beginning of any of the spring, fall semesters, but giving a talk on various cybersecurity careers as well as how to gain certificates as well, like the Security Plus, the CompTIA Security Plus certificate, since that's normally a pretty popular one, and to help you become a little bit more competitive in the job market if you're wanting to lean more into security or just be a little bit more competitive in general. Let's see. Did you guys have any? Oh yeah, my bad.
Does UTA give students discounts for those certifications?
So CompTIA already gives a student discount. Yes. If I remember right, it's kind of roughly $100 off, like from like $350 to like $250. But don't hope. Huh?
Do you know if they get a discount for the emails?
Yeah, like basically like all of them. Yeah. But I would still look back at their. So you don't go to the regular store, you go to the student version or the academic store instead, and you would be able to see the discounts on there. But I would be talking a bit more on that during the certificate workshop. But whatchamacallit, any questions? All right. I'm trying to remember what else I mentioned yesterday. Let's see. I'll be posting some more announcements later today. Chandra, do you remember if we were going to open up the project next week?
Yeah, I should make the GitHub repo and then people can just contribute.
Cool.
But still think people need a little bit more time to adjust it to React Native.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Let's go.
But yeah, so please do make sure that you try to cover the materials on the Jira tickets because that would help make sure that you at least have a baseline knowledge there. Let's see. Official meeting times for next week are to be determined, as well as the I guess daily stand-ups, like normally in a company setting, since you would be there like Monday through Friday, people would normally have like maybe a meeting in the morning to talk about the progress they've made or the roadblocks. Me and the project leadership team will be discussing a little bit about that soon enough. But yeah, for next week, official dates are to be determined, but based off of the general times that I posted on the announcements. You could expect somewhere within those options there. Chandra, anything else?
No, actually, just a small reminder, when you're using Jira, in your ticket, there should be like sub-tickets, right? Make sure to click on sub-tickets and cite that there's some description. Some people have not noticed them, so make sure to click that and see, I put some additional instructions, tutorials and stuff like that. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Let's see. Trying to remember what else. Dang, people things. Oh, yeah, another thing. So, let me open up the calendar to demonstrate. Yeah, so we're still deciding, but either June 24th, Friday, like 6:30 to 8:30, or July 1st, June 6:30 to 8:30. We were thinking of doing a game night. Yes. So over at the Cybersecurity Club office, we have like Uno, we have Unstable Unicorns. If you've played that before, I have Exploding Kittens. We have a random deck of cards. I forgot what else we have over there, but you guys are also more than free to bring your own games as well. Yeah, again, like when we were first pitching this project to you guys, we did mention that, hey, we'll give you guys chances to, like, you know, make friends and stuff here. And yeah, through a game night, it's one of our best favorite, normally re-requested events. Like, hey, when are you guys having a game night? And like, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, we'll be having, the official date is to be determined, but we'll be seeing. We'll be posting an announcement for that. What else was I gonna say? With the game night? No, I think I covered everything. Wow. Okay. Well, that's all from me. Thanks, you guys. Have fun. Stay safe. Have a safe drive home.
Yeah, Chandra, if you add me to the Jira for the demo.
Huh?
You add me to the
Are you on Jira?
Yeah.
I added, no. Yeah.
Because